up, everyone? Welcome to Chef Blaze's Blazing Kitchen. I'm your host, Chef John, also known as Johnny Blaze, chef and owner of Next Level Family Catering. And what we're going to do today, take a classic and kind of elevate it to the next level. We're going to start with a taco pie. Everybody loves tacos, but we're going to put a little twist on it to where it's not so fumbly and messy and come out a nice, elegant piece of pie. We're also going to top that with some fresh guacamole. We'll walk you through how to make that. So let's get started. So now let's get into it. What we have here is a pound of lean ground beef. It's 93% lean with 7% fat content. So we're going to go right into our saute pan with that. I like to let the beef warm up with the pan, so I don't start with the hot pan. Kind of gives it a little more even cooking. And while that starts to brown, we'll go right over here and prepare our next ingredient. We're going to get a small dice on an onion. Just want to let that start to brown. Just chop it up into fine pieces and just let it sit for a moment. Just a little bit of vegetable oil. With our beef, just turning it as it starts to brown. Just kind of flip it over so the other side starts to brown. Cook that nice and evenly. Our smaller saute pan nice and hot. We bring it right over to the onions so we don't lose any on the way. Get that nice sizzle as soon as they go into the hot pan. Back on the meat. And kind of let that work itself to a nice translucent color. So now you start to see some of the juices come out of the ground beef. And that's just some of that fat, which is going to give us added flavor. And with our taco seasoning, it's a mix of paprika, coriander, cumin, salt, black pepper, little garlic powder, little onion powder. We just sprinkle that right on top. We want to be generous with this, as this is pretty much going to flavor the base of our dish. Check on the onions. You start to see a little bit of color. That's exactly what we want. We can kind of turn those down and let those kind of work on their own. So we see that our ground beef is about 80% cooked. Still a little pink in there, that's okay. We're going to finish that in a moment. We're going to add our sauteed onions directly into the ground beef. Just mix that in real good. that nice color and nice aroma from the sauteed onions. The spices are starting to incorporate into this mix. Should be a very nice and flavorful and well-balanced dish when we're done. Alright, so now we're going to bring it back over the second component of our taco pie. I want to kind of make this like almost like a custard. I'm going to use a little bit of egg. Six large eggs. Right. 1 cup of heavy whipping cream. I think our ground beef is right about where we want it, so we can turn the heat off and just let that sit in the pan until we're ready. It's just what we want. So we have our heavy cream, 6 eggs, just a little bit of fresh minced garlic. I'm just going to whisk them together and break up the egg yolks, incorporate it. Looking good, that's the consistency we want. So let's bring it back over to our ground beef. Like I said, the beef is going to be the base of our taco pie. So we have a previously greased pie pan. We're going to go right into the pan directly and just spread this entire mixture out on the bottom. Get a nice layer in there. Take our egg and cream mix and go directly on top of the ground beef. You'll see once this is done, it'll rise nicely, stay nice and moist. Alright, so we want to leave a little room for our topping. Now, Mexican cheese blend. Monterey Jack, shredded cheddar, little ASIAGO, right on top. Just be generous with it. I mean, it's taco, so we love cheese on the taco. Let's get it all on there. Smooth that out. Alright, we are ready to go into the oven. So we have our oven preheated to 350, and we're going to start at about 20 minutes in the oven. So we always start at a lower number because if we undercook something, we can always put it back in. If we overcook, there's no going back. Okay. So let's give ourselves 20 minutes on the timer. We'll check it. Alright, so now we're going to get into the second part of our meal. We have our taco pie working in the oven. So tacos, I always think fresh guacamole. So we're going to get into that really quick. Starting with fresh avocados. And for me, these are always hard to cut. Let's get your sharpest knife. Just kind of rotate the avocado around your knife. You should be able to pop it open and get our pit out. We can do that in just a moment. So we're going to start with all the avocados first in our rotation, and then we can take the pits out and move on from there. Alright, so I'm just going to take a moment to kind of clear out some of the inside that might have been left from the pit. Just take a small plastic spoon and just kind of scoop out some of that stuff that we're not going to be able to use. Just have the last remaining bits of our avocado. We're going to take them to the food processor because they are not quite as ripe as we'd like them to be, so we'll put them in the food processor with just a little bit of lime juice and just hit them with a quick pulse to kind of soften them up so we get that proper guacamole texture. Take our rubber spatula, just kind of push down the rest of it on the sides and continue to smooth it out. Just let that go for a few more seconds. Alright, so we are putting the finishing touches on our homemade guacamole. I have about 4 large avocados. You just dice them up, mash them down a little bit to get that proper consistency. And now we're just going to add the rest of our ingredients. Diced tomato, about 1 cup. 3/4 cup diced red onion. About 1/2 cup diced jalapeno. A little splash of lime juice. Kosher salt. And just a little ground black pepper. Let's mix it all up. You start to see those colors come together. Proper consistency. Now, of course, the best part. Disposable spoons, give it a taste. Make sure we have our seasonings and everything where they should be. Just a little more salt, a little more lime juice, and I think we are in business. That's exactly what we want. Alright, so we have our taco pie, and now it's time for the payoff. So we just cut a nice slice, just like we would a normal Thanksgiving pie or apple pie, something like that. Just get our spatula. right onto our plate. You can see the onions and the ground beef in there that just came together. And now we top it. Just a nice healthy dollop of our colorful and balanced homemade guacamole. Enjoy. Well, that's it from our blazing kitchen. I'd like to thank you for joining us. Don't forget to follow Next Level Family Catering on Instagram and Facebook. Follow Official Stark Online on Instagram and Facebook. Rockington Brand on Instagram. And shout out to the man behind the camera, DJ A Squared. Thank you. We'll see you next time.